Jordan Ham joins us every week, brought to you by Team Rockin' and, of course, Rockin' Protein, Peaches and Dreams, the good people at Rockin' Refuel. We appreciate their support as we head to Atlanta. All right, it's Texas. We now know that. We don't know anything about Texas other than ASU played them a long time ago. I think Rudy Carpenter was at quarterback the last time that they met. What do you make out of this matchup just on the surface for the fans?
I think that Texas has been one of the best and most consistent teams this year, their first year in the SEC. If you don't count Georgia, they are an undefeated team this year, and they have done a really, really good job. We've heard so much about that run defense that they have, and they have some big guys up front. And when you look at, yes, Clemson was able to move the ball a little bit against them. That this was the best game of the first round. I don't think there's any debate there. But Texas rushed for 292 yards while giving up 76. So if that is going to be similar numbers for Arizona State and Cam Scadaboo and Kyson Brown, the Peach Bowl is going to be filled with pits for the Sun Devils. But if they can get the ball moving a little bit, find some creative ways to get going, and ASU has been one of the best run defenses in the Big 12, and if they're able to limit the Longhorns, I think that this could be a game that is much closer than people anticipate, certainly.
You've been around the team, obviously, all season long and in off season, and really since Kenny came here. Is this too big a stage for them?
I don't think so. This is a group that feels like there is no stage that they've looked overwhelmed. They've made some errors here and there, but the thing that I really appreciate about this team is they don't let those compound. It doesn't turn into a snowball where all of a sudden, they're going to drive off the road and it's, there's no way to recover. This is a team that has been able to overcome adversity time and again. They have quite a few guys that played at Texas. They have quite a few guys from Texas. So I think that this is going to mean a lot to them. And I think that this, honestly, we see that the line to start was 13.5. The Sun Devils are nearly a 2-touchdown underdog. I think that's exactly what Kenny Dillingham wants. He was concerned for 3 weeks, having his guys here, how great they were and how they took the world by storm and they're doing all this stuff and look how great they are. This team needs an edge and this team needs to be pissed at somebody. And I think that line certainly helps them.
Team Rockin' Protein brings us Jordan Ham walking on. Jordy and I will both be in Atlanta with ASU this time next week, brought to you by the good people at Rockin' Protein, Team Rockin'. We appreciate their support. The storylines that I'm looking at around this game, you hit on one earlier, and that's the rush defense of Arizona State. The other side of the coin is the quarterback play. I wouldn't say that this is a mismatch at quarterback. Sam Leavitt has more than been capable this season. The lack of experience on his part, at any point in time, Jordan, you've covered him day in and day out. Have you felt that it may be too big of a moment for him in this?
I don't think so. Really, the only moment I felt like we saw some true, oh, this guy has only played 4 games coming into this year moment was Texas Tech. And that was the first Big 12 road game that they faced. And, it was one of the few games that the opponent scored and ASU wasn't able to respond. They've been getting off to hot starts all year, and that's really helped them, I think, just kind of dictate what they want to do. And if there's an error later in the game, they have some wiggle room to work with. But Sam Leavitt has taken great care of the football. Since coming back from injury, he has accounted for 17 touchdowns and thrown just 1 interception. So he can take care of the football. He's found ways to score. Yes, when you have Cam Scadaboo in the backfield with him, that makes his life a heck of a lot easier, but he has delivered some throws, and he showed in the Big 12 championship. He doesn't obviously Jordan Tyson is a great addition to that offense, but it's not totally reliant on him. Guillory came up with some big catches. Malik McClain came up with a huge catch. Melquan Stovall in 4th and 1 had that nice gain. Shimon Mateer is a great pass catching tight end. So the fact that they've had 3 weeks to come up with a plan to help spread the ball around with Marcus Arroyo and company. I think that that's going to help him as well. Now, there could be a rust factor, and that's for any player when you're off for about a month now. There's probably going to be a little bit of rust, and that might be one of the areas where Texas has an advantage. They feel like they're a well-oiled machine now. They were coming off a loss against Georgia, then they were able to assert their will against Clemson. So there might be a little bit of that rust factor, but I feel like Sam has done such a tremendous job, especially in the second half of this season, just doing what he needs to do. And when he needs to put the cape on every now and then, he certainly can. But he's not going to try to do too much in a situation that could be detrimental to the team.
Flip it over to the defensive side. ASU is going to be shorthanded, a very big part of their defense in the first half. Walk me through that.
Yeah, Shamari Simmons was called for a targeting call in the second half of the Big 12 championship game by rule. He is out until halftime. And this is kind of, one of the quiet leaders of this team. He does so much for them, whether it's in pass coverage, picking balls off, pass defense. He can come in and certainly deliver some big hits as well. And he is just a great tone setter for them. And the past couple of weeks, they've been mixing and matching some guys at that nickel position. We've seen X Alford go in there. We've seen Montana Warren, one of the younger players, go in there as well. So it's yet to be seen who's going to be taking over that role in that half for Shamari Simmons. That is something that ASU had to deal with Keyshawn Elliott, where he had a targeting penalty as well. And Caleb McCullough stepped up against Utah and had the best game of his season, maybe his ASU career, with 2 big interceptions. So there is depth there. And I think it's been a benefit for them to have those 3 weeks to be able to prepare for this. This isn't something where, a guy goes down to injury and then it's quickly next man up. They've had some ways, to come in and figure out who that person's going to be and what adjustments are needed for that first half.
That's Jordan Ham. Walking On, brought to you by Team Rockin' Refuel. We appreciate their support.